Hi guys, my name is Ray Talks, and welcome to this series called Life In. Life In is a series where I interview those from African descent, those who are black across the world, and ask them about what it's like in various countries. In this episode, I interview Dominique, an American who moved to Nigeria, and she shares her experience with us. Make sure you leave a comment and ensure that you follow Dominique on all her social medias. Enjoy.
My name is Dominique, also known as She is Dominique on social medias. I am an American from South Carolina, a state called South Carolina. Last year, moved to Nigeria and I married my husband, who's also Nigerian. And we actually spent the first 6 months of our marriage traveling West Africa by road. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Excellent. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. So some people would be watching this video and think, why on earth would somebody want to leave the US of A to go to not any African nation, Nigeria, where there is high inflation, there's all this insecurity. Nigeria has a plethora of problems. So why would you leave the US where it's quote unquote stable for a place that apparently, allegedly, is very chaotic?
For me, at the time, I was just going through a lot. I had just ended a long-term relationship. I was falling into a state of depression, which I've dealt with, on and off. And I just needed something different in my life. And I was tired of living in this capitalistic type of environment where it's just like, okay, you go to work, you buy things, you die, you don't have any money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of that type of lifestyle. And I wanted to get out of the rat race.
Right.
And I started looking, I just started to say, okay, I want to live overseas. At the time, I didn't really hone in on Africa or Nigeria. It was just, okay, I want to live overseas. So I started looking at places where I could potentially live. I had a criteria. I had to be able to live for under $500 a month.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere where I could easily travel to other places because I just kind of wanted to explore a little bit also. And yeah, somewhere where I could just be happy, be free. And like I said, I didn't really hone on Africa until I started, looking at all these European places, some places in Asia. And then one day I was just looking and it was like a light bulb went off, like, girl, Africa.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I started doing my research, and Nigeria wasn't Nigeria was my first choice. And then I also was looking at Tanzania and some places in East Africa.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I had just always felt drawn to Nigerian culture.
Wow.
It was so crazy because all of the content creators that I followed, they weren't even travel bloggers or anything like that. They were just lifestyle and beauty. All of them were Nigerian American.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So it was just yeah. And then after, once I decided that I was going to go to Africa, because originally I was just like, okay, I'll go to Africa, I'll explore and see which country I want to live in.
Right.
I met my husband.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what prompted me to just go ahead and go to Nigeria first.
Right.
So
brilliant.
Yeah.
So if we actually, I don't even know how I found your channel. I think it just popped up because I'm always looking for people that have moved to Nigeria, living in Nigeria, and your channel popped up. And then I don't know what video got me. I was like, oh my days. And I remember sending it to the girl. I was like, she's living the dream. She's literally moved to Nigeria, met the love of her life, and she's just loving it. So, speaking on the topic of love of your life, meeting your husband, please do share with the viewers how you met your husband and just the time frame. When I sent it to some of my friends, we were like, oh my days, we couldn't believe, like, raw man, like, just amazing story. Like, is this real? It was awesome. So please do share this amazing story.
So I met my husband on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how we met. I ended up so one of the things that I was doing while I was on Instagram, and I would just choose a location. And so I would look at people's pictures, you know, by the location.
Yeah.
And as a content creator myself, I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go to Africa, I need some African followers myself. So I would like people's pictures. And that's tip, if you're a content creator, that's how you get organic followers. But yeah, so I was doing that. I ended up coming across his page, and of course he slid into my DM.
Oh, typical Nigerian man.
Yeah. So he definitely slid into my DM, and I let him sit there for a little bit. You know, I at first was just like, you know, I don't know if this is a green card thing or what, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of let him sit there, and after maybe 3 days or so, I finally replied back to him. And I will say though that before even meeting my husband, what it really came from is me being in line with what God wanted for me.
Right.
And being open with God about what I'm saying. Like, before I met my husband, I actually wrote a list.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a full list of things that I wanted, from everything from how I wanted him to look, how I wanted him to be in bed.
Okay.
How, you know, I wanted him to be as a person, you know, every single detail that I could think about. I was very specific. And that way I knew it was him when he came, because he lined up with everything. You know, he ticked, I hate to say it like that, he ticked all my boxes, because sometimes it won't happen like that. But he ticked all the boxes. And yeah, I mean, we prayed about it after we, you know, started talking and stuff. We prayed about it. We actually did a fast together.
Okay. Wow.
Our relationship to say, okay, really solidify. This isn't just a relationship. We're going to pursue marriage.
Brilliant.
And yeah, I knew that I was trying to come out there anyway, so it was just like,
come quicker. Yeah. Excellent. What was the time frame for that? You know,
we met in June of 2020.
Yeah.
2020. We talked and dated for 6 months. In December 2020 is when I left.
Right.
And after I got there.
Wow.
After I got there.
Wow.
We're just like, you know what? Why wait? You know, because we wanted to travel and a Christian path, so we didn't want to be like sleeping together. Christian path, so we didn't want to be like sleeping together.
Right. Awesome. So you touched on the point on being essentially a digital nomad, a content creator. And there's also there's this thing where many people want to, you know, do what you're doing, Dominique. They want to travel, but they're aware of, you know, they need funds to do so. You know, I keep joking to my friends that I need a sugar daddy, but I just keep being told, you don't need one. And I was like, okay, I'm joking, but you know. So how are you able to sustain yourself, you know, as a content creator? How are you able to find gigs? How are you able to find opportunities? Tips, if you could just share a couple of tips. And do you also provide services for people who want to become content creators, so you can walk them on that journey and, you know, share your socials? And I also ensure I leave it on the screen and in the description bar when I finish editing this video. So how are you able to sustain yourself as a content creator, especially in a place like, let's say, West Africa, because you've been to various West African nations now? Yeah.
So, before I left, I was saving money. Okay, I will say that the pandemic, honestly, it helped me.
Right.
Like, I wasn't one of those people who dealt with like really bad things during the pandemic, thank God.
Yeah.
But it really helped me. And in America, they were giving incentives. So they were giving citizens money, you know.
Oh, wow.
So people were losing their jobs, so they were
Yeah.
giving stimulus packages and stuff like that. So I took that money and I started to save that money,
Right.
because I knew that I wanted to leave. I was going to leave with $1,500 if that was all I had. $500 if that was all I
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, as long as I bought my ticket.
Right.
Honestly, everything else didn't really occur to me because I was in a place where it was just like, okay, God got me.
Right.
And sometimes you have to take that leap of faith to
Yeah.
just, if it's aligned with God's will for your life,
Yeah.
you have to be able to say, God is going to take care of me. Only
Mm.
if God is telling you to do it.
Right.
Don't be
Right.
don't be out here saying I told you to do something and
Right.
God said he gonna have you and God didn't say that to you.
No.
Disclaimer, I will not take responsibility for that.
No. No. Yeah.
But yeah, like, when I started this journey, maybe it was, I want to say 2017, 2018, when I really
Mm.
started to, doing my research, doing all these things, I was praying about it. I was
Wow.
writing things down. I was, doing my research,
Yeah.
trying to figure out, okay, can I live in this place? How much is it actually going to cost me? What is it like in this place? Uh, Researching other content creators who had already left,
Yeah.
or diaspora who had already gone, and watching their videos, hearing them talk about it and stuff like that. And I prayed about it and I prepared
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So when that time was right and all of this extra money was coming in,
Right.
I just was like, okay, this is it. This is the moment. I'm going to
Right.
save this money and I'm going to make it happen. So um as far as sustaining while I was there, um, again, America was giving stimulus packages to their citizens.
Wow.
So they had a unemployment stimulus thing where they were paying
Yeah.
people like every week who had lost their job
Oh,
due to the
wow.
pandemic. So maybe I want to say in April of 2020 is when I
Yeah.
lost my job. I was working at a
Okay.
hotel. I ended up losing
Yeah.
my job. And so I applied for the stimulus package
Yeah.
because I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was a crazy time, but again, God works in mysterious ways and it's just like so crazy how everything lined up. But
Yeah.
yeah, they were giving weekly, basically they were paying people weekly who had lost their job to the pandemic. So I was getting more money than I had been making actually on my job. So
Wow.
I was just like, yeah, why
Wow.
not? I don't have
Wow.
to work right now. Like America
No.
is paying me. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to go. I'm about to peace.
I'm out.
And so yeah, that was it. While I was there, I didn't try to I didn't try so much to fulfill my like content creator financial situation.
Yeah.
Um like before I left, I had been working with brands. I worked with several brands. I've been getting free products, I did do a couple of paid gigs and stuff like that. But when I was traveling, it was more so just me focusing on being in the moment and creating that content, like just
Right.
recording the things that I had been going through. So I didn't even start really posting a lot until maybe months after,
Right.
I had started doing stuff. A lot of the content now that I'm putting out is from last year,
Okay. Okay.
so
Yeah.
I did think about to help content creators and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I feel like I'm still learning. So I didn't want to put myself in that position. And honestly,
Right.
it's very stressful sometimes. So yeah, but I do offer other services. So a lot of Americans have reached out to me. Not
Wow.
even Americans. I had somebody from uh Zimbabwe or
Oh,
Uganda
hello.
and
Wow.
da, 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 da. So I do offer consultations as far as like, trying to get a Nigerian visa.
Right.
You know, dating Nigerians. Like I've had not a counselor, but I've definitely had sessions where like
Love it.
Somebody has put me on the phone with their Nigerian, whoever, like, oh, I want person on a green card, or something like that, so yeah, at this point it's kind of just like whatever I can offer now.
Right.
I mostly do offer my time.
Yeah.
That you would have the stuff that I do
Yeah.
is not necessarily for the money.
Right.
Back to having a job, honestly.
Right.
So, and I don't see myself at this point.
Yeah. Thank you for
just get it how you can.
If you can actually just share with those who may watch this and may be thinking like, oh my days, I would really love to get with a Nigerian man or a West African man. What are some, maybe give them 3 tips, or things to look out for, warning signs, good signs, because the green card thing is very real. People are looking for their exit. Yeah, even people, because there is this assumption that, people that want to leave Nigeria are from, the more lower classes in Nigeria, but that's not the case. A lot of the people who are japaring, who are leaving Nigeria, actually are middle class, upper class, because there's a lot of money involved. So if they can save some money, they're going. Some of them, we're generalizing here, would do it. So what are some tips, 3 tips, or that you can give anyone who's looking to date or marry?
The first I'm gonna give is just a major red flag. If he's in a rush, or if they are in a rush to make whatever it is that y'all got going on happen, that's a major red flag. Okay. Like you trying to skip the get to know me part because you want to get over here. Like that to me is a red flag, major red flag. But you can tell too, because like I said, that sense of urgency in them, it will raise a red flag inside of you to be like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
But you have to listen to it, because I feel like a lot of people, they know sometimes what may be a red flag or whatever, but they don't listen to that.
Right, I agree.
I want a Nigerian.
Yeah,
I want this, I want that, or whatever. So, another thing I would say is have an open mind.
Right.
Culture.
Right.
So one of the things when I really, when me and my husband started dating or talking or whatever, I was doing my research about Nigerian culture. Even, I was doing it before because I wanted to move, but it made me want to get involved even more, especially with his tribe. He is Yoruba.
Yeah.
So not Yoruba. I know sometimes I say it and people are like, Yoruba? No.
Yeah. They're Edo, innit? They're Edo, isn't it?
We say have an open mind and do your research. Don't just be like, oh, he has to understand me, because you have to understand him too. And another thing that I would say is don't be afraid of the traditional, like